I am told that my father, just to put me to sleep, he would take me on a bike ride and would place me ahead of him because only the breeze of the wind would put me to sleep. So he would place me ahead, he would ride the bike, I would go to sleep, and he'd place me behind between him and my mother. And that's how I went to sleep every night. Talk about an adventure. Now, when I was 4 years old, I asked my mother that if you ever get pregnant again, I want a brother because I want to play cricket with someone. Now, he was born and I was happy. Except now, 18 years later, my brother is a pro footballer, he's taller than me, and he's going on a sports scholarship abroad. But now, if you look anywhere, the relationship between two sisters or even a brother and sisters is often marked by love and care, despite the usual fights. But the relationship between two brothers is only fights. I'm sure many of you can relate. Now, my relationship with my brother is no different. It's quite tenuous. But despite that, during the lockdown, I remember during the pandemic when we were all quarantined at home, my brother and I had no conversation because we couldn't bear the thought of talking to each other for more than 5 minutes without abusing each other in some form or another. In fact, the only conversation we had during the lockdown was late at night when we both went to the kitchen to get a midnight snack. And we would each give each other a what's up look. That's all we did. But I'm glad I met my brother, genuinely, because through him I have learned a lot about myself. And the most important thing I've learned is that I love my own company. I love spending time with myself. And I love staying in my room all day, watching video games and reading books and doing whatnot. It seemed like paradise to me. So, that idea of being alone in my room all day and playing video games seemed like paradise to me. So after that, that made me realize that I was very independent. At a very young age, I was very independent, more than anyone else, even my own parents at one point. But then, that bubble was burst. At the age of 14, I went to the Netherlands for a student exchange program, when I was supposed to live with the students there at their homes and live their everyday life. Now, I was very excited for one reason, that I would get to live their life, but there was a small part of me which was silently hoping that somehow I could manage to make a Dutch girlfriend. It would be a very big flex for the rest of my life. But when I got there, I was shocked. Every single one of them was 6 feet. Even the girls. Everyone was at least 1 foot taller than me. And it was very weird at first. But then, I beat them with my brain in every class. Whether it is math, science or chess, no matter what the subject, I always won. But after this, when I came back, when I started to feel like I actually got independent, when I was about to give my engineering entrance exams, when I was about to crack it, my life came to a standing stop. In 2017, my beloved grandmother, who was 78, was battling cancer for the second time, was partially blinded, and was unconscious for the last 3 months. I will never forget that night. Her heartbeat suddenly dropped from 100 to 50 to 0 in a matter of a few minutes. And the tragic part was, it happened in front of my eyes. It was the first time in my life that I witnessed death. It made me realize just how fragile life is and how valuable too it is. That death is the only true reminder of life. But for some odd reason, I remained strong. I discovered a part in myself which I had not known before. I was so calm, I was able to face it very calmly. And my mind had never been more clear about what I had to do next. A year later, after mourning my grandmother's death, my father decided to do something bold. He said, and he announced in front of the family, that I'm going on a bike ride in the mountains for 10 days and you will not be able to talk to me. So when I heard it first, I thought even I want to join you. But I was 17. I had no license, I never ridden a bike. Obviously, he's not going to allow me to go. So I didn't even bother to ask him. But he asked me himself, and I was shocked. And obviously, I said yes. I went, and those 10 days in the mountains were the best 10 days I've ever spent in my life. In those 10 days, my father turned into a very good friend. Going on such a trip with my father was like living a dream I had never dreamt of. After going through all these adventures, it became very clear that the best ones are the ones where we attack our fears, where we kill them and we go in their face and attack them. So that has brought me here today. In January of 2022, I decided to join a public speaking platform, Toastmasters. And that has brought me here today, where I attack my next fear, public speaking. Thank you so much.